Hey everyone, I'm Kendrick Diaz, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. Did you know that the most prolific writer of the New Testament started out as one of Christianity's most vicious opponents? The Apostle Paul. He had a dramatic conversion, going from a relentless persecutor of the church to one of its strongest defenders. My question is, what changed for him? Of course, God intervened, called him, showed him mercy, the same way he continues to do today. But Paul also had a mindset we can't overlook. It's summed up in one verse in Acts 9, and it's short, but it says a lot. At this point, Paul was on a mission to crush this rising Jewish sect called the Way. He had just secured permission from his leaders to continue arresting believers in Damascus. So he started going there. But as he was traveling, all of a sudden, light. It wasn't sunlight, it wasn't fire, it was some blinding radiance he hadn't experienced before. It slammed into him, knocked him to the ground, and then came the voice. Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I'm Jesus. His whole world flipped. The very name he was determined to extinguish was now confronting him. Now here's the key. How did Paul respond? Verse 6 says it all. So he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what do you want me to do? That's it. Lord, what do you want me to do? No excuses, no resistance. The instructions didn't matter. The personal cost didn't matter. His status in the religious elite didn't matter. Paul humbled himself completely, and it changed his life. Why is that important? Because Christianity at its core is about following God's instructions, and we can't do that without humbling ourselves. It's a foundational step, the one that makes every other step in our walk with Jesus Christ possible. And it's also a step we have to return to frequently. Remember King David's adultery and murder? When pride and entitlement crept in, when he felt he was above accountability, how much spiritual progress was he making? None. But when Nathan confronted him, what did David do? He humbled himself. He recognized he had been more focused on what he wanted than on what God wanted. And after he repented, he was able to get back on track. The same is true for us. When we feel ourselves becoming resistant, when we're not as eager to know God's instructions as we once were, when we're not as eager to follow God's instructions, it's usually because of a lack of humility. We're the ones who get in the way of our own conversion. Friends, the truth is God is just as committed to shaping us into vessels for his purpose as he was with Paul. But when we let our humility slip, we block him from doing that. So remember this, it's never that God is powerless to shape us as he did with Paul or David. The problem is us. But there's good news because we can change. It starts with going back to the foundational step of cultivating humility. It starts with going back to the sincere attitude of, Lord, what do you want me to do? And really meaning it. In Isaiah 66:2, God says, On this one will I look, on him who is poor and of a contrite spirit, and who trembles at my word. That's the mindset God is looking for. Paul had it that day. David rediscovered it. The question is, will we?
Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.